Hello champions, how are you? Miss Mita, hope all of you stay healthy and stay safe. Okay, after this, Miss Mita is going to tell you some facts from ebook. Okay, check it out. Okay, champions, now Miss Mita is going to tell you about facts about who was Alexander Graham Bell. Okay, this is by Bonnie Bader, illustrated by David Grove. Okay, we start. This is the ebook of the copyright of this ebook. Contents. Who was Alexander Graham Bell? One day in 1858, two young boys named Alec and Ben were horsing around in a flour mill owned by Ben's father. The boys leaped over bags of flour and ran past machines that ground up wheat. They were having fun, but they were bothering the mill workers who needed to do their work. Finally, Ben's father called the boys into his office. He told them to find something useful to do. What exactly would that be? Alec wanted to know. Ben's father picked up a handful of grain. Its piece of grain was covered in a thick husk. It would be useful if they could figure out a good way to get the husk off the wheat grain. The boys accepted the challenge. First, they scraped the husk off with a nail brush. It worked, but it took too long. They needed a faster way. Alec thought about the problem some more. He was good at solving problems. He remembered seeing a large vat with spinning paddles at the mill. The boys went and watched the vat at work. At last, Alec had an idea. What if stiff brushes like big nail brushes were attached to the vat paddles? When the paddle brushes began spinning, the husk would be scraped off the wheat fast. Alec presented his idea to Ben's father. The mill owner liked what he heard and put it to the test. Alec's idea worked. Maybe it's not so surprising that this 11-year-old boy grew up to become a world-famous inventor, the man who invented the telephone. Chapter 1. As an inventor is born. On March 3, 1847, in Edinburgh, Scotland, a baby boy was born into the Bell family. He was named Alexander after both his grandfather and his father. Grandfather Bell lived in London and was a teacher. He helped young people with speech problems, such as stuttering. Grandfather Bell studied the way spoken words are formed. He learned how important the lungs and vocal cords are for speaking. He studied the way the lips and the face move too. Alexander's father, called Malif, taught speech too. From the moment baby Alexander was born, it was expected that he would follow in the other Alexander's footsteps. But what interested little Alec, as his family called him, was exploring. This boy, with a pale face, brown eyes, and dark bushy hair, loved roaming the Scottish countryside with his brothers, Melly and Ted. Alec collected all kinds of plants, rocks, and animal skeletons. One summer day in 1850, the Bell family went on a picnic. Young Alec wandered off to explore. A nearby wheat field caught his eye. He walked into the tall wheat and sat down. Closing his eyes, he wondered if he could hear the wheat growing. He strained his ears and listened, but he heard nothing. After a while, Alec decided to return to the picnic, but he couldn't find his way out of the wheat field. The wheat was too high. Alec was lost. He yelled for help. No one heard him. Little Alec sat on the ground and cried until he fell asleep. Later, he awoke to his father calling his name. Alec was safe. Sometimes curiosity could get a boy in trouble. Although Alec was smart, he was not a good student. Greek, Latin, math, and science, they all bored him. Plants and animals were much more interesting. He also loved music, and he learned to become an excellent pianist from his mother Eliza. It was amazing that Mrs. Bell could play the piano so well. Why? Because she was nearly deaf. She needed an ear tub to help her hear. To play the piano, she put one end of the tub in her ear and the other against the piano. The way she could feel or hear the beautiful sounds of the music. Alec was very close to his mother, although most people shouted into her ear tub. Alec liked to put his mouth on her forehead and speak softly. And this worked. Eliza Bell was able to hear what her son said. How was that possible? Eliza picked up the vibration that Alec's words made when he put his lips on her head. A vibration is a steady movement or quiver. By talking to his mother this way, Alec began to understand how sounds travel and are heard. Eliza Bell encouraged Alec to be curious and creative, but his father did not always approve. He wanted his middle son to be a good student like his brothers. Melville Bell often interrupted Alec's piano lessons. He dragged the boy into the living room where Melville discussed science with friends. For Alec, it was boring. Okay? Even as a young boy, Alec wanted to be his own person. In fact, he was so independent that he chose a middle name for himself. It was just before he turned 11. A family friend named Alexander Graham came to visit. Alec liked the sound of the man's name. From that day on, Alec decided he would be called Alexander Graham Bell. Okay, there are a lot of chapters. Chapter 2 or turning point. So we are going to discuss this in Zoom meeting, and I will attach this ebook PDF in Edmodo. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think those are really a great facts. And Miss Mita, hope all of you enjoy the video, and from that facts you can increase your knowledges and happy. Okay, remember, stay healthy and stay safe. God bless you. Bye.